Today I am reviewing Heart Eyes, which is directed by Josh Ruben. The last time I recall there being a horror film about Valentine's Day was the film Valentine from 2001, and the remake of My Bloody Valentine from 2009. So I was curious if this would be a great new slasher film to add to the list, or if this was a mindless cash grab to capitalize on the holiday. Heart Eyes stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, Jordana Brewster, and Devon Sawa, so it has it with the casting. The story is about a killer named Heart Eyes, or as reporters refer to the killer, Heck, or H-E-K, who stalks and kills couples on Valentine's Day. Everyone is aware of this killer as they have killed for the previous two Valentine's Days. Both killing sprees happened on the East Coast, and now the Heart Eyes killer is on the prowl in Seattle. If you're here for good kills and nice gore, then you're in the right place. Almost all the kills are top-notch, bloody, and fun, though none are gratuitous, just a knife here, a machete there, basic but fun. The interesting hook that Heart Eyes is going for is that it is wrapped up in a romantic comedy as well. We follow Allie, a marketing researcher of some sort, who meets a heartthrob named Jay at a coffee shop when they both order the same kind of coffee. But Allie isn't in her best mindset because she thinks she's about to lose her job. It turns out that Jay has been hired by the same company she works for as a freelancer to help with turning the company's fortunes around. The two leads have a natural chemistry to them. They have dinner that night to discuss business, and your typical romantic comedy stuff happens. Allie has an ex-boyfriend that she cyberstalks, and then she runs into him at the restaurant with his new girlfriend. So to help her with her embarrassment, Jay pretends to be her new boyfriend. Then she gets locked out of her apartment because she lost her keys. Then typical romantic comedy cliches kick in and blah blah blah. But then the fun starts again when the heart killer is in her closet and she discovers it in a way that involves a dildo joke. The rest of the picture is basically Jay and Allie being stalked by this killer even though they aren't really a couple. I think that both of the leads are very likable and cute together, and you can tell that they're having fun. You can also tell based on how the script is structured that this movie is a parody of romantic comedies, both intentionally so and unintentionally so. After the initial killings at the start of the movie, which are fabulous by the way, we spent about 30 minutes with these characters, getting to know them. This is the part of the movie where they obviously want to establish the characters and get you to like them. And mostly, I did like them. I don't like Allie's friend very much, but that's because she just has that attitude to her that resembles people I would rather not associate with. But thankfully, she isn't in the movie very much. There's also two detectives on the case of the Heart Eye Killer, Devon Sawa and Jordana Brewster, who we spend a little bit of time with during this portion of the movie. After the initial attack on the two main characters, the police believe that Jay is the killer, so most of the second act takes place in a police station. Once the killings pick back up again, the film becomes fun. It was fun before, but for me personally, I'm here for the kills, not the romance. I thought the kills in the film In a Violent Nature from last year were some of the better kills I had seen in a good while. And while the kills in Heart Eyes aren't that over the top, I think they're almost as good in the way they are executed. Without getting into spoilers, there's one involving a crotch, which should make people groan just a little bit. But as I said at the start of this review, this movie is fun, so it doesn't dwell on the kills for too long. The amount of gore that is shown is just right for couples to sit through that aren't diehard slasher fans. There's a great sequence at a drive-in theater that was fun mostly, and the capper had me laughing at the highest volume possible because of what they do with this killer cut loose at a drive-in on Valentine's Day. Thankfully I was alone in the theater, so I didn't upset anyone. Even if I did, I still would have laughed. I think that this is a fun slasher film that couples can enjoy for Valentine's Day, and while I enjoyed it quite a bit, I have some issues with it that I would be remiss if I didn't mention, and most of my issues have to do with the structure of this story. There's a sequence about 25 minutes in that talks about the killer murdering a few couples in the Seattle area, but it's a tell not show kind of thing. Since the movie is equally about the romantic comedy aspects as much as it is about the slasher stuff, it just mentioned them on the news, and that was it, which really disappointed me because I go to a slasher to watch people get murdered, and I felt that the film robbed me of that a little by just mentioning some dead people in a news report. I think it could have added to the fear the city and our characters are feeling if they had shown these kills happening, but that's maybe just my sadistic side talking. Another issue I have is the part in the drive-in chase I mentioned earlier. I think that most of the sequence works very well, but there's a point where the characters are running from the killer and they hide in a van. Then the film stops for relationship building and romantic exposition that just seemed out of place for what was happening. Of course this is going on while the owners of the van are having sex in the back seat of the van, so that's what I mean when I say that the film is both intentionally and unintentionally hilarious. It seems to have a hard time every once in a while picking which tone it wants to commit to at any given moment. My third and maybe biggest issue is the last encounter in the movie. This movie ends up having a reveal, and if anyone knows the law of economy of characters, then you will figure it out without any issue. And I just don't know why this movie had to have its scream take off the mask moment. This movie had the opportunity to transcend itself and become synonymous with holiday if it just stuck with basic killing for no reason like it seemed like it was building toward. That's one reason why holiday horror films like Black Christmas and Halloween are so timeless, because we know that people are getting murdered, but we don't need to know who is killing them or why they're killing them, especially in the case of Black Christmas. It's just the fact that it's happening that makes it so fun. Michael Myers is an icon because of his look, and the look of the Heart Eyes Killer had the potential to be a new horror icon if the writers just allowed it to be. But since they had to go the route of Ghostface, we have finality to the story that I don't think needed to be in there. But that's a criticism coming from someone who is a hardcore horror fan and would love the idea of a new horror icon being created that isn't just Art the Clown. Despite these complaints though, I can't deny that I really enjoyed this movie. I really like the dynamic between the two lead characters, and the kills are really impressive. When I watch a slasher movie, kills and chase scenes are the two things I care the most about, and this movie delivered on those in a very strong way. I recommend people take their dates with them this Valentine's Day and have a spooky good time. I give Heart Eyes 3.5 stars out of 4. A cute slasher film with some nice score to it. Okay, so what did everyone think of Heart Eyes? Please let me know in the comments. I was thinking reviewing Love Hurts, but I'm hearing negative things about it, so I may not want to waste my money on it, but we'll see. Anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.